Spell UNCAHBUBBAH. My last name ain't your motherfucking business. The other day I was sitting around thinking about how unfair life can be or seem sometimes, because it seems to me that folk that got everything can get every motherfucking thing they want for nothing. Those of us who ain't got shit like me, we can't get shit. That's discrimination. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And what gets me, it looks like motherfuckers that got everything, they get every motherfucking thing they want without having to do nothing for it. Poor motherfuckers like me can't get shit from nobody, and I don't think that's fair. I don't like that shit. I was thinking about Oprah Winfrey, and I sat around the other day thinking about her and all the money she got. I got firecracker hot, because I already know it's going to be some mess going down at the pearly gate when she gets up there. I already know what's going to happen. I can see her standing up there right there, walking up to Peter saying, Peter going to say, huh? Understand something now. When you got much money as Oprah Winfrey got, you ain't got to put no handle on nobody's name. He ain't going to be no Sir Peter, Mr. Peter, Holy Peter, St. Peter. He's just going to be plain Peter. So she going to say, Peter going to say, huh? She going to say, I brought $1 billion with me for you to ensure my getting inside the pearly gates. Peter going to say, Oprah. She going to say, huh? He going to say, how much $1 billion? Oprah going to SHH, shake her head, because she ain't going to believe that Peter said how much $1 billion. What Oprah ain't going to be thinking was, Peter been on them pearly gates up there for thousands of years. And when he was down here with us, people weren't dealing in no dollars. They were dealing in silver and gold. But Oprah, being the quick thinker that she is, she going to say, Peter. He going to say, huh? She going to say, have you heard of silver? He going to say, yeah, as a matter of fact, Judas was paid 30 pieces of silver in the Garden of Gethsemane for snitching on Jesus. Peter going to think about it. And so Oprah going to say, well, to help you understand how much $1 billion is, it would take you 30 seconds to be able to count 30 pieces of silver. It would take you 4 or 5 weeks or a whole motherfucking month to be able to count out $1 billion. Peter going to look down for a minute. He going to look back up and kind of quietly, he going to say, Oprah. Oprah going to say, huh? He going to say, is Jesus looking? She going to say, no. He going to say, make that check out to Peatuh. She going to write out the check and walk by and say, good looking up, G, and go on in. Now, if I'm standing in that line, when I get up there, if Peter asks me anything, it's going to be some shit right up there at the pearly gates, because, see, it tells me that Peter got all your records up there, and he be looking in your books and shit, and then he going to ask you, well, you did this over here, you remember that? You didn't do this, and blah, 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 blah. And he wants to carry on all that shit. I ain't going to be for none of that. See, because I've seen what he did for Oprah. If he gets up there and asks me anything, I'm going to say, time out, hold up, swole up. We ain't going there, because I saw what Oprah did. Now, if he don't let me in without questioning me, everybody in heaven going to know about what he did, because I'm snitching. That's what I'm doing. I am snitching. Right then, right there at the pearly gates of heaven. You know, every now and then I think about entertainment people. They some strange people. You take people like Eddie Murphy. I like Eddie Murphy. But you know, I can see 4 or 5 of his movies, and the only thing I ever remember about Eddie Murphy's movie, he's going, eh, eh, eh. Every time you turn around, that motherfucker going, eh, eh, eh. But it tells me that every time that motherfucker goes, eh, 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 you get a cha-ching, 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 $25,000 or $30,000 jumps in his bank account. So my thinking is, the movie producers can't be that smart, because if they were that smart, they'd know that they could hire me to overdub that motherfucker. I can say, eh, 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 just like his motherfucking ass can. The difference is they can pay me about 10%. I make some money. They save some money. Everybody be happy. Except maybe for Eddie, he might not be that happy about it. But we save a whole heap of money. Whoopi Goldberg. Another person I like is Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg, that's my girl. Whoopi had a different meaning when I was coming along as a young boy in Jackson, North Carolina on Depot Street. And me and my boys, Joe Mack and Carter and Arbor Earl and all of us, we were ladies' boys. And we learned about sex education up in the bond law on rainy days. Every now and then, you see the females and you would say, whoopee, and motion your head toward the bond. Well, they knew what was going on, and they going up there and y'all do what you're gonna do. So when I found out about Whoopi, I kind of fell in love with her because I just liked the name. And if I was younger, I would get me a job working for Whoopi, I tell you. I wouldn't want to do nothing else but make Whoopi with Whoopi. Then you have some people that, there's some strange people like Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. He can see more with no vision than a whole heap of motherfuckers with quinty vision. Case in point, Stevie can walk into a place with 20 women, 19 ugly motherfuckers, one fine one. When Stevie leaves, he gonna have that fine motherfucker on his arm. So that used to confuse me. I got to figure this out because he ain't supposed to have no vision. So then, light went off in my head. The white folk would say I had an epiphany. And I discovered when I was a youngster that sometimes entertainers tell on themselves through their music. And then I can remember Stevie Wonder, he recorded a song years ago called Transcendental Medication. Transcendental medication make you lose your mind. So then it dawned on me that Stevie is doing all of this stuff. He's got this vision because he's fucking with that transcendental medication shit. Now that's some powerful shit. I don't know how it works, but I ain't gonna fuck with that. I ain't gonna fuck with that. Aretha Franklin. I tell you another one that I love. Aretha Franklin. Now Aretha, I like Aretha Franklin. I love the sister. She's straight up, 6 o'clock all the time. Tells her man what she's thinking. And as a matter of fact, she recorded a song about that. Was it? No, it wasn't disrespect, it was respect. And it went like, what you want, baby, I got it. What you need, I probably got some of that too. All I want you to do for me is show a little respect before you come home. Baby, before you come home. In other words, when you go out, motherfucker, don't come back home without calling me. This way you don't run the risk of running in on some shit you don't want to see. So motherfucker, hit the phone booth before you get back. Call me. I want some respect before your motherfucking ass come home. And then there ain't gonna be no problem. I like that. So you can't ever accuse Reaper for not being upfront. She done told the motherfucker how it is. Another one I love is Gladys Knight. And I know Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight takes care of business. Now, the other day, she was talking to Janet Jackson, and one of Janet Jackson's nieces had done talked some shit to her. You know what Gladys said? Gladys said, I'd have knocked her teeth out. I'd have fired on her ass if she had said that to me. Now, let me tell y'all something. I know Gladys Knight. If Gladys Knight tell you she gonna whoop your ass, you got a whooping coming to tell me she used to whoop the Pips's ass, okay? So Gladys ain't taking no kind of shit. She'll whoop motherfucker's ass and put him on the midnight train to Georgia, you hear me? So Gladys she ain't taking no shit. And I like that about her. She's 2020. I mean, she all the time, that's clear view. You know what's happening with her. LaToya Jackson. I was watching television the other day, and a friend of mine called me from New York. He said, Bubba, I said, huh? He said, you need to turn on the OWN network. I said, what the fuck is OWN network? He said, fool, that's Oprah Winfrey network. He said, I want you to see something. So I turned to Oprah Winfrey network. There was LaToya on there, LaToya Jackson. I watched that shit for a few minutes. I said, that motherfucker crazy. First of all, she's a 56-year-old motherfucker who talking about she's still a virgin. I said, now how the fuck she gonna be a virgin? She was married to somebody for 7 years, but she went on to say, well, she never consummated her vows. But then on the other hand, she turned around and said her husband had such control over her, and she was so brainwashed, she was even scared to go to the restroom when they were out in a restaurant. Then she talks about how he made her say bad things all about the family, made her write a book. So it made me mad because of some of the things that she said before about certain people. So I called my friend back. I said, you know what? I love the Jacksons, but that Latoya, I'm gonna get her straight. She know motherfucking well she ain't no virgin. She ain't been a motherfucking virgin since Mona Lisa was a motherfucking baby. Up there talking about she's a motherfucking virgin. I said, I'm suing her for false advertising. So my friend said, well, if you're sure, she gonna go to her doctor and the doctor gonna sign off saying, yes, she's still a virgin. I said, oh no, I ain't gonna be none of that because I don't trust them motherfuckers. No, in the lawsuit, I dropped the lawsuit, by the way, if she is a virgin, but I want to look up in the motherfucker myself. I want to see it. And then he asked me, talking about, well, how you gonna know if she's a virgin? And I'm gonna tell him, if something done been up in that doorway up there, it's gonna look a little beat up, a little scratched out. It ain't gonna be like God made it. Because see, once they've been altered, you can't put it back like it was in the beginning. And I bet you she got so many motherfucking battle scars and that stuff. If she were to go to the Veterans Administration, I bet you they looked up in the cootie, they would give her some Purple Hearts for the war wounds and the battle scars that she was carrying to go all the way back to the Vietnam War. Now, she wasn't old enough to be out the battlefield in uniform, understand? But there are different ways to serve your country. And I'm sure that she might have been out there to service in her country. But either way, I'm sure she got enough war wounds in that motherfucking cootie to at least get 2 or 3 Purple Hearts. She got to be no veteran. She was serving the country during wartime. So when I saw her ass, I wanted to get enough money to start my own motherfucking network. UBC, Uncle Bubba's channel. Fuck her own network. I'm gonna have my own shit. But if I sue Latoya's ass for false advertising, she might not have no money, but all the rest of them Jacksons got some. So I'm suing her ass. False advertising. The Greyhound bus. You know, I got a call from my brother down in New Orleans, Louisiana last year. And he said to me, Bubba, I said, huh? He said, I want you to come out here and visit with us. We're a small family, and there's too few of us not to have a lot of contact with each other. I said, brother, I ain't got no vacation money. I can't be spending money to come back there. He said, well, things might be a little tight for you, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you a ticket. How would you like to come? Train, bus, or airplane? I said, well, too many motherfucking accidents going on with the trains. I'm scared of trains. And I ain't never been nowhere on a bus or airplane. I said, but I got a friend who lives in Compton, and he flies to San Diego a couple times a year sometimes. So I said, well, let me talk to him again. So later on, I called my friend over in Compton, and I said, Lois, my brother's gonna send for me to come to New Orleans. And I can't make up my mind as opposed to whether or not I'm gonna go airplane or Greyhound bus. Yeah, he says, I wouldn't recommend the plane for you because you've never flown before. But what I would do is I would go ahead and get me a ticket to go down on Greyhound. So I called my brother back and I told him, I said, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna go Greyhound. So 2 days later, he had my ticket down there, determined in Los Angeles, and I went on down there and got on the bus. Would you know, I traveled 4 motherfucking days and 5 motherfucking nights to get the fuck to New Orleans. I ain't never heard of no shit like that before. When I got down to New Orleans, I was so motherfucking tired, I just felt dizzy. My brother picks me up from the motherfucking bus station, and I'm tired, and I'm in a bad mood, I'm hungry, and he ain't washed my face in 4 to 5 days. So I was doing everything I could to keep my eyes open. So finally we pull up in his yard. And I see this big old rocking chair up on the porch. And I said, my, I made a beeline for that motherfucker. Because I know I'm going to get in the rocking chair, get me a nap. So I said, brother, I got to get me a nap. He said, well, now, wait a minute. Now, before you do, I need you to meet my baby. Pee-wee, come out here. So I'm wondering who the fuck Pee-wee is. Anyway, I'm expecting a little baby. Here comes a 400-pound motherfucker crawling through the door with a motherfucking diaper on. And I'm saying to myself, what kind of motherfucking shit's this? And my brother says, Pee-wee, meet your Uncle Bubba. Pee-wee waves at me. The motherfucker ain't saying nothing. So I figured, first of all, the motherfucker can't talk. He looked like he was crazy. So I figured, well, he can't talk. So I said, well, Pee-wee, I'm glad to meet you. I said, I want to take me a little nap now. So I sat down and I was sleeping so good, and all of a sudden, I feel something pushing on me, rocking me, talking about Auntie Bubba, Auntie Bubba, Auntie Bubba, is you all right? So I looked down at this little motherfucker, and I said, yeah, Pee-wee, I'm fine, just trying to get me a little nap. And I'm saying to myself, motherfucker, you need to leave me alone. So anyway, he goes on off, and I leans on back again, and I fell asleep again. Before you know it, motherfucker again. Auntie Bubba, is you all right? I said, motherfucker, if you say something to me again, I'm gonna fuck you up, motherfucker. Keep your motherfucking hands off me, motherfucker. Don't touch me no motherfucking more. I will open a can of whoop ass for your motherfucking ass. You understand me, motherfucker? And he goes on off. Then I think I hurt Pee-wee's feelings. So I figured that motherfucker ain't gonna fuck with me no more, a little N-word motherfucker. So anyway, I falls off to sleep again. Then I feel some warm air against my face. So I wakes up and I look at me right in the mirror. And I looks down there, that's Pee-wee holding up the motherfucking mirror. I said, what is you doing, motherfucker? Why you keep fucking with me? And he told me, I just want you to see what you look like when you sleep. I said, how the fuck am I gonna see what it look like if I'm sleeping? My eyes ain't seeing no more if I'm sleeping, motherfucker. My mind ain't thinking no more unless I'm dreaming. Leave me the fuck alone, little fat motherfucker. And so then I looks up, he goes in the house. So now here come another big old fat motherfucker. That was my brother's daughter. Her name is Huckabuck. Now here this motherfucker got a nickname, Heaven. Heaven. And she looks like hell, but they call her Heaven. Her real name, Huckabuck. She just looked at me and smiled. But then I noticed she kept holding the mouth in a funny way. Every time I look around, the mouth was going like, and I noticed the motherfucker ain't had no teeth, and she kept on. I said, sis, this woman is strange. So I sat there and I started thinking, I didn't want to laugh, but I had to laugh a little bit. So after she kept doing that, I said, what is this motherfucker chewing on? I didn't know that's the way she fixed her mouth. So finally she asked me, she said, what the fuck you looking at, motherfucker? I said, I don't know, I was just looking. She said, well, nigga, look somewhere else. I said, hold up, motherfucker. I said, don't call me no nigga. I said, first of all, the white folks don't even call me nigga. They calls me the N-word. So you understand one thing, nigga. Don't call me nigga. If you want to call me the N-word, you call me the motherfucking N-word. Otherwise, don't call me no motherfucking nigga. I go off on your ass. I will slap the fuck out of Mike Tyson. I don't give a fuck. So my brother, he gets and comes out there and he said, Huckabuck, come on in. You out here starting the mess. She said, fuck that motherfucker. I'll bitch slap that motherfucker. I'll fuck him up. I just pretend I ain't here. Finally, I got into bed that night and I went to sleep. Man, I was so glad to be away from them crazy motherfuckers. Then I'm saying to myself, I know I shouldn't have left home to come down here to be with them motherfuckers. I should have kept my motherfucking ass in Compton. I went to sleep. Next morning, I woke up. That motherfucker gets up 5:30 in the morning to cook breakfast. Who the fuck want to eat something at 5:30 in the morning? You down there ain't even gone down. Or down there at supper. So my brother said, look, I got to go to work, but what I want you to do is there's an affair going on at the community center tonight. So you go down there and you're probably going to see a lot of folks you know. So finally, about 7 o'clock that night, I get dressed and I strolls on down to the community center. And so I walks in the door and I looks to the left and I see all the nieces. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Taiwanese, the Korean nieces, the Cambodian nieces. I see all the nieces. Any motherfucking niece you ever seen or thought of, they were there. But I ain't know none of them because I ain't go to school with none of them. So fine, I walks on around to the right a little bit and I see where the white folks are sitting. So when I gets there, I walks by and smile. They smile back. I say, good evening, Homo sapiens. And they said, good evening. And one of the white folk even said, That man sounds like he got some intelligence. Did you hear that? That made me feel so good. And see, what I do is, like sometimes I'm sitting around, I read the Franklin Dictionary. That's the one that the white folk read. And the Homo sapien ain't a word that everybody uses all the time, but it means human being. It means you use a human being if you're a Homo sapien, the humankind. Well, the white folk knew that. But I walked over to the table, to the African-American table, where the N-word folk were sitting. There's a chair vacant, and I walks up there, and I says, "Good evening, Homo sapiens." Motherfucking brother jumps up and grabs me in my collar. He said, "Motherfucker, ain't no homo nothing over here, motherfucker. I will fuck you up, motherfucker. You don't know nobody over here, motherfucker." And he sitting beside this old big old cow with all that old fake Indian hair in her head. She talking about, "Slap the shit out of the motherfucker, Willie. Slap him. Don't cut him. He ain't worth it. Just slap the fuck out the motherfucker." I was confused because I ain't done nothing but say good evening, human beings. One of the white folk hollered over, said, "Leave him alone, don't hurt him." They let me go then. So I got out of there in a hurry. I went on home, got in the bed, tried to go to sleep. You ever try to go to sleep when you're mad? It's hard, motherfucker, to go to sleep when you're mad. If you go to sleep, you then hope you're going to have a nightmare where you running the motherfucker with a shotgun after he doesn't hit you for nothing. So anyway, I get home. Next morning, I decided that, well, I was going to go down to the crawfish hole. It's about 3 miles away, so I walks down to the bus stop. I gets down there, and I see one of them same motherfuckers that was sitting at the African-American table. This motherfucker gonna talk about, "What's up, bro? Last time I saw you, you running your ass out of the place." I wouldn't even say nothing to that fool. Now, you see, because African Americans always try to talk some shit about other African Americans and make them look bad. Now, if I'm running, it says that I'm a coward. I ain't no coward. Like I tell anybody, I'll slap the fuck out of Mike Tyson. I don't give a fuck. When I get off of who I am, it's some shit going on. So I said, well, I ain't even gonna say nothing to this fool. But then I said, now, if the white people saw me doing that, they would know that I wasn't running, I was power walking. There's a difference in running because you're scared and power walking because you're exercising. Then I started to get lonesome for Compton. I wanted to go home. I want to go back to the land. So I told my brother that evening, I said, you know, brother, I want to go back home. 2 days later, I got ready to go and I told my brother, I said, look, this time I don't want to get on no motherfucking bus. I want an airplane ticket. I want to fly home. He said, you want to fly home? That's going to cost a little bit more money. So I called my sister and we're going to help you get that airplane ticket. I said, I don't give a fuck how I get there. I want to go on the plane. I ain't fucking around with that Greyhound bus. So 2 days later, they take me to the airport. I'm down there and they said goodbye and I goes up to all these gates and they airplanes all over the place. I ain't never been to no airport before. So I gets on the plane. I walks back there to the seat. I got 44A, but I don't know what that means. So I asked the stewardess. I got 44A. She said, well, find the seat that's 44A, and you're going to have 44A on the seat. I said, all right. I goes back there. Now I got 44A. Here's a big motherfucker, big fat, bougie-looking woman sitting her ass up in my seat. So I told her, I said, excuse me, you sit up my motherfucking seat, and you need to get in your own motherfucking seat. And I didn't mean no harm, but then she seemed to get an attitude. So she gets up and sits on back down there, and I get over there and sit down. She sits on back down. When I look up at her, she looks at me and she closes her eyes. African Americans, when they mad with you, they close their eyes. I look, that means they don't want to talk to you. It also means don't fuck with them now, because they're going to get stupid on you. They want to whip your ass. So I said, motherfucker don't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to her either. So I closed my eyes too. Turned my face toward the window. Finally, we took off. And somebody come on talking about, let me have your attention. And the first bullshit they talk about was, if we go down in the water, this is what you get. And I'm saying, what these motherfuckers talking about going down some motherfucking water for? What kind of shit is this? Then they say, and if you have a crash and then this thing drops from over your head, then put this over your mouth. I said, them motherfuckers preparing for a disaster. Why they expecting a motherfucking disaster? So I'm nervous. So I sat there and I said, you know, when you ain't been on no plane before, sometimes you don't want people to know this is your first time flying. So I try to act like I've been flying all my life. So after a while, heard somebody come on the radio and say, we're gonna come around with the menus for those of you who'd like to order some food. So I said, fine. So they bought the menus. Then they said, well, we'll come back and take the order once you figure out what you want. So in about 5 minutes, I see the lady coming down the aisle taking the orders. I done figured out from the menu what I want. So I had about two $10 bills in my pocket. I pulled out my $10 bill. This old big ass motherfucking cow beside me talking about they don't take cash. Now, I ain't never heard of nobody nowhere in the motherfucking world talking about don't take no motherfucking cash. So I said to myself, this ugly motherfucker don't even know what she's talking about. He ain't gonna take no cash. Motherfucker needs to stay out of my business. So I said, all right. Because I know they're gonna take the cash. So Stewardess gets up there and said, have you figured out what you want, son? I said, I have. She said, well, what do you want? I said, I want one of these turkey sandwiches and I want some of them sunshine chips or whatever the fuck they call with a glass of water. It came to $14. So I hands her two $10 bills. She says, oh, we don't take cash. And I looked at that motherfucker done told me. I didn't think she knew what you're talking about. I said, what do you take? She said, we just take credit cards. I said, well, I know I ain't have no motherfucking credit card. So I said, well, I tell you what, I ain't want nothing to eat no how. So then she looks at this old big fat ugly motherfucker next to me, and that big fat ugly motherfucker, she looking at me smiling, just grinning. I done got turned down. So I asked her, I said, you got a credit card? She told me, I never leave home without it. So she done ordered this shit. She hollered over the show talking about, Louise, you want some food? Louise said, yeah. She said, what you want? She told this big old ugly motherfucker, get whatever you want. So she tells the stewardess, okay, whatever you get me, get for Louise too. Put it on my card. Now I'm mad because this motherfucker got a card and she glad I can't eat. I looks up, she tells the woman what she wanted. She done ordered about $55 or $60 worth of motherfucking shit. Because fat people eat a lot of food, you know. She whips out the card. That's a motherfucking EBT card. I said, what the fuck is this? So the steward said, oh, we don't take EBT cards. She said, I just got it loaded yesterday. I got $1,400 on this. She said, I don't care what y'all, we don't take no EBT card. Which is said that I said, wipe the blue. Hello. Yeah, baby. We own today. You should have left home without that motherfucker talking about it. I never leave home without it. Then brought her EBT card over Texas. Now, how in the fuck you gonna spend the LA County, California, EBT money in the air over the state of Texas? So anyway, things kind of settled down. I was a little bit hungry, but I was so happy that she couldn't eat either. There was about 16 of the N-word people sitting up there on the plane. I looks around, all the white people eating. I don't see none of the N-word folk eating. So I said, what the fuck is this? Then it dawned on me that we ain't got no credit cards. So I decided, I like to fuck with people. I tell the truth, I like to fuck with people. So I looked at it, I said, now I'm gonna have me some fun. So everybody's eating. So I stood up in the aisle and I said, to all of the African Americans, they looked at me. I said, I'd like to conjugate the verb, am hungry. Then I said, I am hungry. And I pointed to old big ass woman. I said, you am hungry. We am all hungry. And I laughed. I just had the best time in my life. Little old dude back there weighing about 50 pounds. He talking about, I don't see what's so funny. That's okay. I thought it was funny, motherfucker. I laughed because everybody looking up at me. Oh, they was firecracker hot. They were hot at me. They wanted to whip my ass. I know they did. So I sat on back down. Then I said, y'all think I'm stupid? I ain't, because I'm going to get up close to the white folk before the plane gets on the ground, because then they ain't going to whip my ass as quick. So I gets out of the airport and gone home. As soon as I get home, I called my friend Lewis over in Compton to cuss that motherfucker out. And he answered the phone. I said, you know what, another sucker? You put me in a trick bag. I came to you asking for some help, and you tell me this bullshit about getting on a Greyhound bus. Motherfucker, you don't know what jet lag is. You can't compare no jet lag with some fucking Greyhound bus lag. He hung up on me. So next morning I gets up and I walks over to his house. I knocks on the door. His wife, Mai, comes to the door and she said, hey, Bubba, you got back? I said, yeah, I'm back. I said, where's Lewis? He in there, we getting ready to fix breakfast. So I go in there and I said, well, I can stay for breakfast. Lewis said, no, we ain't gonna have no breakfast till after you leave. I said, okay. He was mad, so I tried to tell him something about the trip that he didn't want to hear. So then I noticed they had some Michael Jackson music on, and I liked Michael Jackson music because I get to moving and dancing and grooving when I hear some Michael Jackson. And I loved it, Michael, and I loved it, Michael, because Michael loved it to cheerings. And Lewis gonna talk about, yeah, there was a nice thing that he did with the Never Never Land Ranch. I said, what is your problem, fool? That wasn't no nice thing he did. And it shouldn't have been no Never Never Land Ranch. It should have been the Never Never Should Have Been Ranch. I know some shit gonna come out of the thing. Number one, he got these children sleeping over. Now, he loved it, the children, and I loved it him for that. But now they sleeping over. It's gonna be just a matter of time before somebody jumps up and said, he done touched one of my children inappropriately. Lewis didn't want to hear none of that stuff. But I was just telling him, because I'm building up to it, because I got upset with Michael too, rest in peace. I said he should have known that somebody was going to sue him. But he did it anyway. And sure enough, somebody sued him. The little boy said he was touched inappropriately by Michael during the sleepover. And then he sell out of coat for $13 million. That made me mad because see, when you sell out of coat after the people done accused him, it suggests to a lot of people that you sell out of coat because you know you're guilty. And I know Michael ain't touched nobody young like that. Hell, it sell out of coat for $13 million. For half of that amount of money, I would have dressed up like one of the children, got a lollipop in my mouth, and would have given them some too. And I don't even do crazy kinds of sex. And I turned to Lewis, I said, Lewis, wouldn't you have given him some for half of $13 million? Lewis, he gonna look at his wife. I said, don't look at her, motherfucker. She'd have given him some too for half that amount. She probably would have thrown in a little extra for the other four motherfucking Jacksons. Then he says to me, get out, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Get out of my house, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Get out, get out. That's all he was saying, calling me a son of a bitch. So I left. And then I remember Brother Wilson. Brother Wilson lives next door to me. He's been my neighbor for about 8 years. And he's married Sarah Louise. Sarah Louise whoops his ass 2 or 3 times a week. She taps that ass up. And whenever he's mad, you hear the screen door slam in the morning because she makes him go out to the driveway and get the newspaper. He always comes out walking slowly with his head down. And so whenever I see him, I say, Brother Wilson, how you doing? He always says certain things better left unsaid. Whatever the fuck that means, I still ain't figured that one out. Certain things better left unsaid. But I don't say nothing. But I like to fuck with him because he looks at me and rolls his eyes. I enjoy that. So I set my alarm clock in the morning to be out there by the time that motherfucker comes out there because I want to fuck with him. I ain't got no other entertainment. So anyway, now that I've been going down and all of this motherfucker done switched up on me. So I hear them coming out the next morning, and I look out there and I say, Brother Wilson, good morning. How are you and Sister Wilson? He said, fine, fine. We in the kissing stage right now. I tells her to kiss my ass, and she tells me to kiss hers. I said, I can't believe he's saying that. The bad part about it is he kept her on saying it. Now who I'm gonna fuck with? I ain't got nobody to fuck with. Ain't got nobody. So all my phone is just gone. And then, I was just thinking about something else. I was just thinking about a part to show you how women folks can be difficult. It's hard to figure out women folks sometimes. Y'all ever been at a party and you got all these women sitting around talking and everybody's carrying on laughing, and out of the clear blue, you're gonna have one of these cows get up and say, excuse me, can somebody tell me where the bathroom is? I got to pee. Then she gets up and prances her old big ass off to the bathroom, gonna stay in there 15 minutes. Don't take 15 minutes to pee. You know the motherfucker went in there to shit, but we go along with it anyway. I don't say nothing. Because when you get up and say it in my presence, I got to go pee. That's TMMI. That's too motherfucking much information. Too motherfucking much information. You don't have to tell nobody that. But I tell you one thing, I bet y'all ain't never been at no party where you had a woman jump up and say, excuse me, Can somebody tell me where the bathroom is? I got to go shit. They always want to talk about what the poo daddy gonna do, but they don't want to talk about the shooter back there, cause that ain't nice to talk about. I don't even pay them no mind, but it's a low class thing. And some of them got lots of class, but it's all fourth class. So I thank y'all so much for visiting with me. I enjoyed this opportunity. I hope y'all enjoyed my visit. And for those of you who didn't enjoy it, fuck you. So now I'm gonna say, well, can somebody tell me where the bathroom is? Cause I got to go shit.